Hello, my name is Steve Mace from Solwise, and what I'd like to do now is an unboxing show and tell type video of a new product from EnGenius called the EAP1300 and 1300 EXT. Now normally I do separate videos for each product, but these ones are essentially exactly the same product, so I thought it convenient just to do them as a single video. So the EAP1300 1300 EXT is an indoor Wave 2 11AC access point intended for ceiling or wall mounting and supporting 2.4 gig Wi-Fi and 11AC Wave 2 Wi-Fi up to 867 meg. So let's just have a look at these, see what we're talking about with these products. So I shall, one end's open, let's get the plain EAP1300 out of its box first of all. Here is the EAP1300, and I shall take it out of the noisy polythene bag straight away. And I'll put that there, and then what we'll do is get out the EXT version. Again, out of its noisy polythene bag. And now you can see that effectively we're talking about pretty much the same product. The only difference is the non-EXT uses built-in 5 dB Omni antennas. The EXT version, if you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, actually uses reverse SMA antenna for Omni coverage. Now, what the pros and cons are of the two antenna setups, I'm not really 100% sure. I'm going to guess that the one with the built-in antennas is going to give more of a cone downward type signal projection, because the antennas are actually built flat into the front of the device. On the other hand, let me just get the antennas out for this so we know what we're talking about. So these are the antennas that come with the EXT version, and as you can see, they would screw onto each of these connectors, and the pictures on the box show them orientated thus. Interesting. So you basically have the 4 antennas aimed down, sticking down, well, these are ceiling mount devices, obviously they'll be sticking down from the ceiling. So whereas this one I'm guessing would give more of a cone shape signal, the EXT version I would guess gives more of a sideways beamed signal. I'm jumping to conclusions here, but I'm just trying to think of the orientation of the antennas, and you know what I'm saying. Now, I'm assuming there must be a difference, otherwise why go ahead to all of the expense of producing all the machining and tooling, packaging and etc. for two different products, which to all intents and purposes are exactly the same, except for the antenna setup. So I'm going to assume the purpose of the EXT is to give more of a horizontal beam of signal, whereas the standard ceiling mount design package gives more of a wide cone shaped signal. And obviously this one does look a lot more discreet and sleek on the ceiling than this one would, with its sort of 4 bits of plastic hanging down. But that's the EAP, that's the 2 models there. So let's go through what else you get in the box. Obviously the main thing with the EXT is you get these 4 antenna in the box. So you've got 2, just checking, yeah, you've got 2 2.4 and 2 5 gig antennas, because obviously this is a dual stream device. So it gives 2 11AC streams at 430 odd meg each, and it gives 2 2.4 gig streams, giving you 11N Wi-Fi on the 2.4. So apart from that, the contents of the boxes are pretty much the same thing. So you've got these plastic clips that fit onto the ceiling or the wall. So you fit the plastic clip onto the ceiling or the wall, and then the antenna just basically clips onto the bottom of the bracket. So that's the fixing bracket. What else we've got in the box? Usual setup guide. Yeah, forget about those. You don't get a power supply because these devices are both designed for PoE powering. So you're basically using 48 volt and you're using AT spec PoE. So you need the high power PoE for these devices. In the little box that comes in each one, you've got a rather completely uselessly short LAN cable. Don't know why they bother with the LAN cables. You've heard me say that sort of thing before. You come with a set of plastic clips for ceiling mounting on the guide rails used for suspended ceiling tiles. They're quite useful, quite a nice addition then. And you also get some pretty good plasterboard fixing raw plugs, which yet again, they're quite good. It's unusual to get decent raw plugs with these sort of products, but to get some plasterboard ones, yet again, that's quite a nice useful addition. So that's what you get in the box. Let's look at the units themselves in a little bit more detail. So the only difference between the two is EXT has the antennas on it. Apart from that, they're pretty much the same. As far as dimensions are concerned, they're both about the same diameter. I would say put that probably at about 5.5 inches to 6 inches, something like that. There is a difference in the thickness. The EXT, as you can see, has got to be a good 1/2 inch thicker than the standard model. A standard model, I would put it probably about 1.25 inches, whereas this is quite a chunky beast. So probably about 1.75 inches, I would say, for the thickness of the EXT version. Look on the underside, they're pretty much both the same on the underside. You've got fixing screw lugs on both of them, and also if we take a more detailed look here, you can see that both of them actually have a 12 volt DC power connector. There's no 12 volt PC power supplies in the boxes. And 99 times out of 100 people just wouldn't use a DC power supply to power these because they are ceiling or wall mounted, so people will be using PoE to actually power them. So no, that DC socket invariably won't be used. The other thing you've got on the side is obviously the LAN port for the PoE and for the data in, and that's a gig LAN port on both these products. On the front of both of them, you've got the obligatory bent paperclip reset hole, and you've got a series of LEDs showing LAN connectivity, power, and Wi-Fi activity on the two bands. The only slight difference on the front panel for the EXT version is it does actually have some tiny little writing next to each antenna connector, just reminding you which antenna goes where, because the antennas are frequency specific. So for example, this is a 2.4 gig antenna, so you only want to be connecting it to a 2.4 gig labeled connector. And on the other hand, there are some 5 gig antennas, 5 gig antenna, which you connect to the 5 gig connectors on the device. Apart from that, both products are pretty much the same specification. Both of them can be managed by the Neutron Wi-Fi system, but not 100% fully managed. The fully managed access points are the EWS model numbers. So they give you full management, full problem solving, full diagnostics, full logging, full everything else you can name. These are the new generation EAP products, which do have some functionality with the Neutron system, but it can be considered, in my opinion, probably more as an ease configuration tool rather than an outright management tool. If you look at any of my videos on the Neutron system, you'll probably get an idea of what I mean. Difference between a controller whose sole purpose is just to ease the configuration of a product And on the other hand, you can get a controller which does all the configuration of products, but also gives you tools to analyze and diagnose the network and do problem solving. So these will work with the neutral management system, but a lot of that problem solving stuff is excluded with these products. So that's it. That's the EAP1300. And thank you very much.